Hey, you can hear me all right?
I can hear you just fine. You can hear me,
That's
right?
all right. I'm a bit, I'm a bit further from the mic than I was last week. That's all.
This should be a little bit better.
Oh, that is a lot better.
Yeah, one is the microphone on my Mac, and the other is the microphone here. Right, that's much better.
Okay. Yeah, because there was a bit of a hash that come in every time you'd say. It was almost like a radio transmission.
You got to tell me about that.
Hey, we've been worse.
Yeah, this is true, but that's all right. I don't like it being me. All right. We're broadcasting, we're recording. Everything is good. Everything is awesome, except for that clunk.
Yeah, that was my hand.
If you need to move your mouse, just like do it on your leg or something. Or
yeah.
Get a magazine.
New setup. I'm working everything out.
Yeah, cool.
No crickets. No crickets.
No. Although my phone, I've turned my phone off vibration, but it's still vibrating. It's kind of annoying. I'll just throw it there. So it's in vibrate the desk. All right. Hello everyone who watches the video. If this doesn't get edited down, we're going to get going.
Lovely.
Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf, the voice of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. This is episode 52. We are recording live on March 4th, 2016. I'm Jason. Joining me tonight, we have Brad. Once again, it's just the two of us. How are you doing, Brad?
Good, Jason. Yourself?
I'm good. I like the little shrug there, although I think the camera actually cut over to you a little bit late for it, but that's okay. You got to remember the camera cuts over in Hangouts when you make noise, not when you make a gesture. But that's okay.
Oh, okay.
We're still learning Hangouts. How's it going? It's been a ridiculously busy week for me, and it's all work related, really. It's I'm moving into a slightly new role at work, and so I've been coming home tired at night and just going to bed. But
I wish I could do that. It has been an insanely busy week here.
Well, you've had no sleep basically since you went down to Melbourne at the start of the week for a couple of events. We'll talk about those in the group news.
I've been feeling it ever since. I just need to catch up.
I had one night of really bad sleep, and I've just been behind the eight ball for the rest of the week. What a shame.
Yep.
Okay, look, let's do the quick intro stuff. Off the Shelf is the podcast for Transformers Collectors Club Australia. The TCCA website is transformerscca.com. You'll find links there to the Facebook discussion group, the Facebook sales group, the YouTube channel, Twitter page, and of course this podcast. If you are listening to us in Australia, thank you. If you're not, well, we still love you. But if you are listening in Australia, you can become a paid and proud member of the club for just $5. You can send a message to Brad. Brad's name in the group is Brad Ostron Prime. And or send him a message on the TCCA website and get your membership underway. Now, membership fees go towards the purchase of prizes for donation drives, participation at conventions, tables at Supernova, and more. The club does a few random things throughout the year, and everyone's membership fees help us do that. So, Brad, can you give us an update on the paid and proud member count this week and the social members?
We decided to end the applications for paid members, but we've gone up by one to 207.
Always happens when you shut the door on something.
Yeah, yep. And our social member count, which is good to see, is 1664, which is up 27 from last week.
That is rapidly closing in on 2,000 members.
We are getting there, yep.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. So the February donation drive is done. Thank you everyone who donated. And Brad, you've got the winners. You've got the winners' details there. Who are the club members who won?
Congratulations to Andrew, Arno, Beverly, Troy, Chris with a K, and Chris with a C.
Chris and Chris, yes.
Yeah, they are two different people, I can assure you of that. Your prizes are in the mail now, heading to you. You should get them this week or early next week.
Fantastic. And so, as we alluded to earlier, you had a very anyone who listened to last week's podcast, you had a very early morning last Saturday because you headed down to Melbourne for the trade day at one of the Melbourne members group. I believe it was Roy Condesa at his house at Narre Warren. Tell us a little bit about it. How'd it go?
It was it was great. There was probably, I think it was about 15, 20 stalls there with everything 80s childhood. I seen one table we had a couple of sets complete with Mighty Max. There was another table there with anything Simpsons you could imagine. Club secretary Simon Chambers had his set up there, and a lot of action figures.
He actually took the rescue lab on the road.
Yeah, yep. And it was good to see a lot of stuff there. We did have one young boy come in, and I had Revenge of the Fallen Desert Brawl on the table for sale, and he picked it up and said, "Look, it's Devastator." So thank you, Michael Bay. But apart from that, we sold some figures, sold some club merch, handed out a heap of cards, and surprisingly, we had a lot of probably 13 to 16 females, teenage females, asking for Soundwave and some other figures. Yeah.
I was going to say, was someone at the event selling Bratz figures or something?
She loved Soundwave, but she didn't have a Soundwave figure. I had 2 boxes of bits down there, and she pulled out a Transformers Prime Soundwave with no arms and no legs, and no laser beak on his chest. And I just sort of please and started digging through. Oh, arm, leg. Okay, okay. There's Laserbeak, and pulled Laserbeak out and gone, oh, okay, $15, and sold it to her. And it was the first Soundwave, and she carried around a top pocket the whole time. So it was good to see that sort of passion coming from someone so young.
I'm sure Soundwave would be absolutely mortified and ashamed that they are being carried around in someone's pocket.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So you also had a second event on the hop last week, because you went out to the comic expo. We were just talking about this, how we don't actually know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. But I don't think there's a C in there.
No, it's kind of like blended into the X. But this was a new collector's event at Collingwood Town Hall, I believe, was it?
Yeah, and this was a lot bigger. We mistakenly believed the doors opened at 9 o'clock, so we were there at 7. And I could have got some extra sleep, but didn't. And they opened at 10 o'clock. They had a lot of people through. I haven't been to their site yet to see what the estimated income was, attendance. But there was a lot of people there. Seen a lot of not repeats, but a lot of people that we've seen at Nova down there before. In there, and again, lots and lots of figures for sale. Just doing a wander around some of the tables. If you need to find it, it was there. Pleasant Surprises set up beside us, which was good. They had their G1 Fort Max in box there for sale, plus a lot of the Takara Combiner Wars gift sets, and a lot of other figures too. And it was good. It was good being set up behind them and seeing UN in that again, or Eugene, I should say. Not UN. I wish I could cut that out.
Just treat it like radio, ignore it, and own the mistake.
Yep, it was good. I had to escape out the back cave or the back exit at 3 o'clock just so I could get home, because I had to work at 3 o'clock Monday morning. But it was great. It was great seeing a lot of people, a lot of kids there. A big thank you. I know Simon donated a heap of sort of McDonald's Happy Meal toys and figures and that, and a lot of kids left happy, I believe, because they got to play for Transformer.
Happy Meals.
Yeah, they got to play with something they didn't have to pay for. So it was good. It was 2 good events down there. Whether it added to the 27 new members this week or not, don't know, but I think
given the numbers that we usually see on the social member count each week, I think it's a fair bet it did.
Yeah, yep. So it was good to see. Good, it was good fun, good event. Both events were great. So, yep.
Sounds good. Let's move on. We have brought back the favorite post of the week segment lately, because we've actually bothered to look and pick out our favorite post of the week. Now, I can see your favorite post of the week in the run sheet, and I'm just gonna jump in and go first now. I would like to acknowledge the fact that people are now saying that this was a mistake, by the way, but the $70 Triptychon it's the $70 Trypticon is the new $20 Jetfire. It is slightly more expensive, but holy hell. So Toys R Us accidentally, apparently, marked down Trypticon from $299 to $69.95.
Wow.
That is like that is one hell of an accident. Yeah, so
there's a Transformers fan working behind the counter somewhere that done that.
Yeah, they accidentally slipped when they were entering in the new price for that. It was probably meant to get like a $30 discount and be like $270 or something. But yeah, so it's the week of the $70 Trypticon. I've got mine on order. I'm expecting it to arrive early next week. I've heard of other people. I've heard of other people getting theirs dispatched earlier than mine was today. I think mine might have been some of the last ones out the door from the online order. But yeah, people have been walking to stores and getting it. I think it's fantastic. There's nothing beats a good cheap Transformer going on sale for people to just go, you know what, I don't really like that figure, but fuck it, I'm going to buy it, right?
I'm going to get it just for the fact of it.
I had no interest in buying this. I walked into Toys R Us in Parramatta a couple of weeks ago, and I looked at it and I was like, $299, that's ridiculous. And then yesterday, $70, I'll have that. I've spent more money on smaller figures, so like whatever.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in the new figures section later on. So, Brad, what was your favorite post of the week? Because I think this is going to be controversial for me.
Oh, before we get there, it's just we had a lot of people going to Toys R Us Australia. Some striking lucky and seeing one or two there. A lot of people finding either sold out or I know one or two people they've had their online store orders cancelled. And then have to wait 5 days to get the $70 back. So,
that's pretty poor form.
Yep. So, if you got one,
actually, I'm led to believe like if you pay with PayPal and stuff, because I think I paid with PayPal on my online order. Like, it can actually be PayPal that delays your refund.
Yeah. Good point. But my favorite post of the week, if I just get this screen share to work.
I think we need to get you a quieter mouse for subsequent weeks.
I need to move away from the thing. I think Christian Orlando posted this of LEK Custom Toys. They've been working on some of the G1 figures, doing cell shading. And those for the podcast that are listening, we've got Grimlock or MP08, MP10, Masterpiece Magnus, and MP11 here done up in some glorious cell shading.
So, I'm less of a fan of this post. I kind of feel like the whole cell shading stuff has been done to death now. Like every other day, we now see like, oh, I've cell shaded my Masterpiece figure or something. But the thing is that first of all, there's two different kinds of cell shading, right? Like cell shading is meant to make a figure look flat. It's not meant to have all these highlights all over it. The thing is that if you look back at the original G1 animation, most of it was flat, but there were certain scenes where the animators put in a huge extra effort, and you got all this additional shading and stuff. And that was mostly also in the movie as well, and I think in the last episode of season 3 especially. But
yep.
So like in general, cell shading is meant to make something look like it's cell animated, like it's 2D. But there's this sort of additional one that has it has a light source, and that's kind of the point to me, is that there's meant to be a light source to your cell shading, and so the light reflections are meant to actually track back to that source. They're not just meant to be someone just wildly painting brighter lines over something else and trying to make it look shiny that way. It rings false to me. I think Justin pointed out in the thread you're talking about that like it's actually something that's really easy to do badly, and I feel like some of those figures, if they'd shown them on their own, they'd look a lot better than they do altogether. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of find someone did the cell shading trick on Prime a few months ago, and they're like, hey, I made him look like he looks in Devastation, and he really did look like he looked in Devastation, because they actually went to the trouble of actually mimicking the highlights and the look in the game. Yeah, I think everyone since then is just copying it. Like, people need to do something original with their customizations. That they shouldn't just look at what everyone else has done and do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, that original Prime, and I think more so for the Soundwave we've seen a couple of months ago, they look very 2D, even though it's a 3D figure that's being photographed.
Yeah, see, I don't get the 2D nature from these figures at all.
Well, especially because Starscream's on his pad, but that Grimlock, I reckon, looks 2D.
So, like, I reckon Starscream is actually one of the problems with that picture.
Yeah.
Magnus is quite well done. Prime, I feel, is too shiny, and Grimlock, I feel, is, I don't know. There's something up with Grimlock that I'm not really quite happy with.
Having this shadow behind Magnus adds that 3D to it that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, I suppose that's just the way it's photographed, I guess. But yeah. I don't know. Anyway. Grimlock doesn't look very 2D to me.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Anyway, enough of me being the old man who's yelling at the cloud.
You damn kids.
I think I might move on. There's a little bit of news to talk about from Hasbro this week. Hasbro seems to have created a new subline of Transformers called Flip Racers. Now, those of us who remember the movie toys, it might not be quite as what am I saying? They might not be quite as bad as the flip up racers that just had like a robot painted on the bottom of them. These figures look like they might actually transform, unless these.
The legs are over the top of them.
I actually think so. TFW's put an image next to this, and I don't think it's actually the real thing, because I think they've put a picture of jump starters there. Yeah,
looks like it.
So flip races. It seems likely that they race and they flip. They're probably going to be a fairly kid-centric subline for whatever happens in Titan's Return, perhaps, or it could be a part of Robots in Disguise. We never know. Let's move on, because TFW also posted a lovely gallery this week of Combiner Wars Skylinks. The Skylinks almost needs no introduction. He's the classic Autobot shuttle / I don't even know what his animal is. He's a lynx, so like he's meant to be a giant cat of some kind. But he's got the shuttle with the mouth, right? If Deadpool is the Merc with the mouth, Skylinks is the shuttle with the mouth. But so Skylinks is kind of notable for not really having a robot mode. He's probably one of the first actual beast formers, really. But so the Combiner Wars version of him, it's a brand new mold. We haven't seen this mold before, and he looks like a pretty good homage to G1 Skylinks. What do you think?
There's a bit of chatter going on at the moment with apparently his hips are real loose, and his shuttle mode doesn't peg in really well.
But what do you think of him? Like, how does he look?
Oh, I love it. And I think I've said before, I won't be getting this to combine in Skyrain mode. Just to have this thing as a G1 Sky, or as a Combiner Wars Skylinks, I'm more than happy with. I don't know if he's going to be in shuttle mode or in his Skylinks mode, although this is probably the best way to pose him or to display him. So I'm definitely on board with Combiner Wars Skylinks.
Yeah, cool. I like the look of him. I'm probably not going to get him, but there are a few pictures in that article of the combined form of Skyrain as well. I don't really understand why he's got a lion's head in combined mode as Skyrain, but like, whatever. Go, you go for it, Hasbro.
Well, that's the Lynx head that you don't get when you have him in Lynx mode. But I think there's a fan. There's a fan transformation where you can actually get that to happen. So.
Yeah, there's actually the final photo in the article sort of shows him down on all fours. Yeah, that's all right. So Skylinks is on his way out in the next wave or so. I think because we're just getting Onslaught and the Combaticons really sort of spreading around the country. I think the next wave has a bunch of Autobot limbs. So I think it's Wheeljack and Co. and Skylynx is the main torso.
Yeah, it should be April, I reckon. By April, we should see it.
Hopefully, yeah. That is just a month away, so let's see how it goes.
It is.
All right. Let's move on. We had the surprise announcement of a new Masterpiece figure today. That was literally just today. Masterpiece MP31 Delta Magnus is the Diaclone paint job version of Ultra Magnus.
Surprise!
So surprising nobody really is what we're saying. So we all knew that Ultra Magnus's mold was going to be difficult for Takara to reuse for anything, and so they've reused it for the exact same figure, but just with a different paint job, which is kind of the Masterpiece way by now. So we should be okay with this. We should be well used to it. So it is essentially, I believe, Powered Convoy was the original name for this figure in the Diaclone. Or for Ultra Magnus in the Diaclone range, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, so basically it's Powered Convoy. So enjoy. If you've always wanted yourself a Powered Convoy but couldn't really afford it, now you can get a Masterpiece version of him.
For those of you that have to have every Masterpiece number in your collection, I apologise, but at least this one's got a bit more or a bit better paint, a bit more of a variety of paint and detail than what the Magnus did.
So he's due for release August, and he's going to be $190. We'll be interested to see what happens to that price when it makes it out here.
That's interesting. It's 31, but it's coming out before Primal.
Yeah, it is. Don't know. Maybe Primal's due out around the same time, isn't he?
No, he's May or June, I think.
Oh, then he is coming out before it.
Yeah.
Well, so what's wrong with that?
Oh, nothing, but Primal's 30.
Yeah, so 30 comes out in May or June, and then 31 comes out in August.
Oh, August. Sorry, I thought you said April. All right.
No, it's all right. The timing does seem to fit.
well, that's one. So we've still got one more Masterpiece figure for the year that we haven't seen yet.
Theoretically, yes.
And November figure. Or Christmas figure hasn't turned up yet, so this I fully understand it. The one-off characters, yes, Shockwave can be grey, but pretty much he's a one-off. Hot Rod, I don't know what else you can do with Hot Rod. You're not going to get these figures if you don't have repaints. Whether you need five Datsuns.
I assume they'll do a nemesis of Hot Rod or something. I don't know, but
I don't
have a problem with the Datsuns. Like the Datsuns are legitimate characters in their own regard.
Yeah, the Datsuns and Lambos. You got 5 of each character, 5 of each mold, and they're all good figures. They're all got good paint. Yep, no issue whatsoever.
All right, let's move on. We've got. Also on TFW 2005, there's some news of a new series of Q Transformers figures that don't transform. Good job, guys. They're non-transforming Gashapon Q Transformers. So they've got a picture. It's a fairly small picture. You're probably going to have to scroll right up to the top of the article there. That is it. See?
I can't zoom on that.
Yes, you can. If you hit Control Plus, then you most certainly can. This is an awkward pause while we wait for Brad to find the Control key and the plus key. There we go. And again. And again. Come on.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Let's see what I can do. How low can you go?
That's fine. Let's leave it at that. So, so we have Prime, Bumblebee, Jazz, RC, and for some reason Lockdown. So whatever. So these guys, they look a little bit more animation accurate. Not that Lockdown was ever in animation. Oh no, sorry. What? I don't know what's
that looks
going
like Magnus.
It does look like Magnus. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. But yeah, so they're closer to some kind of animation. And these guys, although they're the same size as the regular Q Transformers, which are really small and cute, they've actually got additional articulation. So the neck, shoulders, and both elbows are all. you can move them and you can pose them all, but you just can't transform them into the vehicle modes that they so want to be.
Because that's the animated shock lockdown head too.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Lockdown has sort of been hastily rewritten into Transformers lore, I think.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. So Takara has also released in yet another one of their video updates some comparison pics, or at least a comparison pic and some more detailed pics of their masterpiece Optimus Primal. Now, this is as we were just talking. This is no. I've got no idea what's happening with the masterpiece numbering now, because we just revealed that that Delta Magnus is MP31, and no, apparently it's actually Optimus Primal. Who knows? You know, I reckon they're just. No, I reckon they're just going to pull. I reckon they're just going to pull Optimus Primal out of the MP series and just release him as a standalone. Just you watch.
But Hot Rod's 28, Shockwave's 29, so this would be 30.
Ratchet is 30.
Ah, well, okay.
Oh my! Do we know what's happened? Yeah, I bet I know what's happened. I bet you this is no longer MP31. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. I reckon it's they're either going to start a new series, thus pleasing half the people on TCCA, or they're just going to scrap the numbering and release them as a separate masterpiece, thus pleasing the other half of people on
BW01. Please, BW01. Let's do it. Hashtag
MBW. Anyway, yeah, there's a whole bunch of new photos from him. So
yeah.
Are you getting this guy?
I will be.
You will be?
Yeah.
Do you love him?
The 8 mode still, I understand it, but I'm not still 100% on it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that bot mode is just awesome. Love it. I love it.
I've only
got the original Beast Wars Primal, not the I don't know if it's the 10-year anniversary or commemorative edition, whatever the new one is. I haven't got that, but this looks good. He's got his arm cannons, he's got his head cannons, he can fly. Well, he's not a flying toy, but he's got his jetpack. And I love, I'll just scroll down here. Yeah, he's scaled beside the original Dinobot. He doesn't scale too well for the original figure, but it gives you definitely a size.
He's not meant to. Stop saying he doesn't scale well.
Okay. Yeah, no. He's a Voyager size, and I love that. Mm-hmm. I want to see this next to Rhinox.
All right. Since we are confused over the masterpiece numbering tonight, it is fair to say that the next article might set us straight. Cybertron posted new images of MP30 masterpiece Ratchet. I got to say, I'm not really seeing why these pictures are new. I'm pretty sure we've seen that pose before. And
exactly, that's what I thought when I was looking through them. We get a full accessory count by the looks of it, and where they may go on his sled. The only two figures I've seen.
Isn't that just the same as Ironhide,
though?
I mean, essentially it's the same thing. Like he gets weapons and stuff that gets stuck on a sled, and yeah, whatever. We knew this was coming.
He gets a few more little pistols and duvlackies, and he gets his oxy-torch flame.
Yeah, that's right. I already closed the tab. It's not that new. Like those pictures are not new. It's poor reporting from Cybertron. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's have a look at this. So Keith's Fantasy Club, better known as KFC. There's a new version of their Haymaker cassette called Hammer Fright, because like third-party names have never been shit or anything like that. I don't even know what this thing is. Have you got any ideas?
Is that Slugfest? There was a tape.
Oh yeah, he does. So the first image was really, really bad, really badly done. But yeah, no, he looks like Blaster's little dinosaur cassettes. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
If that's what it's supposed to be, this is something that come after G1, surely.
I don't know.
I don't know where these come into the thing. From all I've heard, KFC, their tapes are rubbish. If you have their tapes and they're good, let us know so we don't.
If you have KFC tapes and they're good, please address your complaints to Brad, not off the shelf.
TransformersCCA@gmail.com.
Yeah, that.
There's no colour. That's a tape for a Masterpiece cassette, whether it goes with their transistor or what, but still.
Yeah, no, he's kind of weird. I'm closing that tab already.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So Planet X. We're through Takara news now, right? I think that's it for Takara news this week. So we're on to third party. So Planet X, we were talking about their prototype of War Within Optimus Prime last week. They've released some prototype photos of their War Within Starscream, and he's looking all right. He's looking sort of like a giant scaled up version of the I guess the deluxes from the deluxe Seekers from Fall of Cybertron, which I guess that means that he looks right. The Seekers had odd feet designs in the Fall of Cybertron line, so I didn't really take to them, but I guess the rest of their jet design was pretty good because they are quite well sought after figures.
I have a big problem. I have a big problem with this.
Go on.
The jet mode. Since not G1, because they actually pulled it off for a very long time. Whenever someone's made a jet transformer, you always get the jet with the robot kibble under it. This is the complete opposite. This is a robot that's trying to be a jet, and it looks absolutely horrendous.
I reckon painted, it might look better.
Yeah, true.
The problem that you have at the moment is that because we've been saying this for a while on these prototype shots, like they bring out a lot of detail in the figure. And I think in the case of these prototypes, it's probably too much detail. Like there's one shot I'm looking at where you can all you can see is like holes with screws in them when you look at the body of the body of the jet. But I think if that was painted and the parts of those limbs were black or a dark color, I think it would look fine.
Yeah, I've got the robot mode. I have no issue with that. Is 100% for Cybertron Starscream. It's just they've made the robot, then gone, oh shit, we need to make this into a jet. And just, yeah,
the feet at the back do look a little bit comical, but I don't know. It's early days and it's a prototype. Let's give them a chance to see where they take it.
Yeah, and I have full faith in Planet X because they have done no wrong to me previously. Yeah, I just wasn't impressed when I seen this jet mode, but it's a Cybertron jet. I can understand. It can be a little bit off, so.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on then, because DX9, who we've spoken about a lot in terms of their figures Carrie and Tyrant and what was the black version
Hulky.
of Carrie? No, the black version of Carrie, the larger figure. Anyway, we've been talking about these guys a lot lately. They also have a small run of figures, or a run of small figures called War in Pocket. They're pretty much legend-sized Transformers, but they're quite detailed and they're quite posable. They've been doing these figures for quite a while, and if you see these figures out in the shop, pick them up, have a look at them, and you'll probably want to buy one. They look really quite good. Now, so they've got a new one out that they've shown some prototype figures at the moment. He's Cup. So he's called Twofold. I don't really know why. I'm guessing that it's like Yiddish for cup or something like that. That's how these names go. They haven't shown him in his vehicle mode, but they have shown him up against Rodimus from Combiner Wars. The
Combiner Wars, that really puts him in scale.
Yeah, and so like you can just see like how posable he is at that scale as opposed to as Hasbro pulls up with the Legends. And like, I got to say, I really like the Legends figures. So yeah, it's interesting. But there's also a photo where he's standing next to Rodimus, and their War in Pocket Blur is also seen on the other side of him. So yeah, it's pretty impressive. We don't know when he's been released. We don't really know when he's coming. So we don't know how much he's going to cost. But I assume it's going to cost about the same as the other ones if you've been collecting them. There are a few people out there who collect these guys. They have a you mentioned him earlier, Hulky, which is their tiny version of Devastator, and he's supposed to be pretty good as far as I'm aware. He looks really nice. There's a size comparison picture of him. I'm kind of tempted to get Hulky, actually. Like I have a small space, as you can see behind me. I have a small space to display my collection now. There is an SDCC Devastator up on the shelf behind me, so maybe I need to put a little Devastator there so that I can sort of trade down and show more figures at smaller scale.
An itty bitty one.
Itty bitty, yeah.
I use
itty,
about
itty bitty, teeny weeny yellow polka dot cup.
I seen the photo for this during the week, and I thought my money is to them. And then when I seen the him beside Hot Rod or Rodimus, I thought, wait, it's a legend, not a masterpiece. I want this as
that thudding sound as you move your mouse around as
sorry
again.
Damn it! I want this as masterpiece. I need a masterpiece cup. I really do.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. No one's committed to a masterpiece cup. People have been doing multiple masterpiece figures of other characters. Like, why don't we just sort of plant the seed? Let's start a rumor next week that like Fans Toys is doing a masterpiece cup, because that means that Bad Cube will find out about the rumor and they'll announce a masterpiece cup, and then Make Toys will
X-Transbots will jump on it as well. It's the 30th
and then,
year.
Then when they eventually get around to releasing it, it'll be the wrong color.
Yeah, and it'll be held together with chopsticks.
Yeah. Okay, last bit of third-party news coming up. Now, I have a couple of these figures, the Fans Project Function X lines. I've got two of the earlier figures, Smart Robin and Code, which is Brainstorm and Chrome Dome. Now they've released some new figures of their Function X10. So the line's been going for quite a while now, and he's Browning 2, aka Highbrow. Now I think this actually makes it the second time that they've done Highbrow, but I guess they really like Highbrow, and so yeah, they're coming back around for another stab at him. Now there's only two images. There's one sort of a semi-posed bot mode, which I think Brad's bringing up there now.
Yeah,
and then the other one is the helicopter mode. Like I feel bad saying this, but like the Function X bots don't really do it for me anymore. I find the Function X bots they're quite a throwback to sort of a G1 design where they've just got the body, arms, and legs, but they've just got a bit of extra articulation in those limbs. And I kind of feel like the third-party Transformers game has moved on a little bit past that.
Yeah, it's a good-looking figure. It just seems very
in this pose.
Yeah, it just seems very simplistic. Which is hard to justify the obvious third-party price that's going to be with him.
Yeah, he'll probably be about $100-120.
So it'd be a Voyager then?
They are pretty much Voyager size. Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Which is a nice size bot, and he definitely looks solid for the Voyager scale. I've got no history, knowledge, all the above for this. But it does look good, and as you said, it sort of reminds me of maybe early Cybertron, just in the alt mode more so, just the way it's sort of modular, and sort of how the colors work in it.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm not gonna. They're not getting my money. Okay, let's move on. Last bit of news for the night. I've seen a few people in the group talking about some collectors' books, like valuation books and catalogs and stuff lately. So this is probably of interest to those guys. Mark Bellamo has put together a paperback called the Ultimate Guide to Vintage Transformers Action Figures. Looks like he's going to be covering a lot of G1 figures, according to the artwork on the book. Some amazingly good condition figures on the front cover of this book. That's probably not too surprising given the subject matter, but
possibly KOs.
They're probably not likely to be KOs. I think that would be really insulting, actually.
No.
But
it's good. It's been a few years since we've got a sort of a. Are we calling it? We're not calling it official. Oh, yes, work for Hasbros. Okay, yep. So I suppose official price guide collection book.
So I don't think this is a price guide. Like I think a price guide is something that's a little bit too ephemeral to actually print these days. Like it's a guide, like about I assume it's about some of the design of the figures, who worked on them, things like that. Even if it just includes accessories, weapons, sort of like a full layout of what each figure had, I think it'd be enough without prices. Now, so there is actually a link. So the news was posted on Cybertron, and there is a link over to it. And for once, it does not support Amazon's look inside the book. So there's no chance whatsoever to get a preview of what's going on in the book. But I'm sure. So this is actually due for release in July. So I'm sure in the lead up we'll see more about it, and maybe see some sample spreads from it. Be interesting to see.
Yeah, because I know I've got the it might be the 25th anniversary price guide book, and it's definitely a good resource. Yeah, it's just definitely a good resource to look through. You've got the full lineup of G1 characters there, whether you tick and flick, whether you got them or not. You can see what each one come with. It helps with identifying weapons, that sort of stuff. They're a great resource to have. So
sounds good.
I'll be definitely jumping on this and seeing if I can get one. Might even get one to give away. We'll see.
Yeah, so I'm interested in getting one of these as well. Like I've got the Transformers Vault, and I've also got the Simon Furman Ultimate Guide as well, which is not quite as nice. But the Transformers Vault is fantastic. So like any of these books that really sort of delve into the history of the brand and the toys and the designs, I think I'm going to be right there for. It might pay to start making some inquiries with some local booksellers, and make a post on the group if we find someone that's going to be stocking it.
Yeah, true. Yep. And we've also the Legacy book series that come out not too long ago for the box art from across G1. That's I haven't got it in hand. I haven't seen it, but apparently that's a very good look too at some of that box art, because I'd say 60% of collectors in the group that have G1 figures, and they wouldn't have boxes, so they wouldn't know what they're missing.
Yeah, so, fair enough.
Yep. A lot of these books are great to get if you can get them. Amazon normally have books half price, under half price, 5-6 months later. So it's always good to get over there and see if you can pick up one. They're a great read. Cool. They're a great table piece.
Sounds good. I think it might be time for us to move on from the news and get to new acquisitions. We've got sort of a few minutes left on the show. I'm gonna go second this week. You can go first. What are your new acquisitions this week?
I'll just grab him. Alan Jones, one of the customizers in the group. He had what's the camera? He had this guy, Alternator's Hound. He's missing a door, which I don't care.
He's a Jeep. Who cares?
Yeah, well, that's it. You take the door off, and he's a nice summer no-door Jeep anyway. But he's a great figure. I've only got a couple of the Alternators line. I definitely want to get a few more because it's just great rubber tires, great solid build, a fairly simple transformation. I got it off him and put him in Jeep mode, within about 5 minutes. So, yeah, and it looks like a hound. So, I'm going to start looking at more of the alt-nose alternative Binotech line.
I think some of Binotech had some really, really nice figures, but I think later on they had some really, really lazy figures as well.
Yep.
I felt like as they went to the end of the line, they really phoned in some of the designs. But early on, they had some really nice gimmicks with the way the not gimmicks, just tricks that they used in the transformation process. Like instead of like compacting legs in upon themselves, you just bent the leg up, and then the windows sort of like formed over the leg and
make a bend.
No. It was intended to do that.
Yeah,
and yeah, I felt like some of the transformations were pretty interesting, and I feel like some of the transformations that we sort of take for granted these days on deluxe figures, I feel like they originated in Binotech, because like the line is getting on 10 years old now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I've got the smoke screen, which is the WRX. And the two Dodge Vipers, which is Sideswipe and
Dead End.
Oh, Dead End, is it?
Mm-hmm. Dead End's the black one.
Oh, okay. They're both sort of robot mode's not that good, but you've got pretty much a 132 scale car that transforms.
They absolutely put all the effort into the car mode. But,
yeah.
I think they had to actually license the cars.
Yeah. I'd love to see the line return personally, but
I don't know. I kind of feel like it's something that they did and they're done, and it's best that they move on to something. Speaking of moving on from Binotech, it's time to talk about my acquisition this week, which after Binotech came Alternity, and Alternity was a slightly scaled down Binotech. The figures are a little bit smaller, but as you can see from that, they are quite detailed. And once again, Prime is a sports car, which is a little bit odd, but I think it's no more odd than making him a pickup truck. But I acquired this from Tim Spirek in the group. Thank you very much, Tim. And I'm going to say I'm not opening it up to find out because it's mint in sealed box. So in his box for his age, because there is a I have sort of I have a statute of limitations on opening boxed figures. Once they become that old, nope, in the box they stay. I don't think I've actually opened up. I've got a couple of the other Alternity figures, but like I said, having gotten to the end of Binotech and deciding that, you know what, some of Binotech kind of sucked. I looked at what they were doing with Alternity, and I just decided it wasn't for me. But I had actually already ordered a couple of the figures, but stupidly I had missed getting Optimus Prime, which is of course the best-selling Alternity figure of all time, and thus really hard to get your hands on. So I was really happy to get this from Tim. And it has been an Optimus Prime week for me as well, because after having a Classics Ultra Magnus that I got with the in the Magnus and Skywarp 2-pack, I finally got myself a Classics Prime. He is one hell of a good-looking figure. Sort of belies his age, actually. Like this figure, the leg stamp, which you're not going to be able to see on the camera anyway. The leg stamp, 2006. This is a 10-year-old figure, and doesn't he look the bomb?
He's got a lot of paint on him.
He sure does. Yeah, he's a great-looking figure. Like the reds and the blues are right there, and this is probably one of the first times that they really added yellow into Prime. It really works.
Yeah,
it came up. Well, actually, I say one of the first times, but I mean, like he already always had some yellow on him in G1. It was just in his crotch. But yeah, they've spread the yellow a little bit further on this. And yeah, no, he's a good-looking Prime. People say that he's one of the best Primes, and I think there's no disputing that whatsoever. I think it's very, very true. And
you only got to look at that compared to the Prime Megatron 2-pack Platinum Edition we got coming up, where he's half blue and half red, and no paint detail at all.
Sorry, isn't that the movie colors?
Oh, snap!
Yeah, it's all right. I say that only because I know you're a movie lover. but that's okay. We can all get along. There is one other figure that I acquired this week, and he's kind of pretty well sought after in the group at the moment. Dun, dun, dun. Hello, Shockwave. So that's two things I've purchased from Toys R Us this week, because I purchased Triptychon and I purchased Shockwave. When I went into Toys R Us on Sunday and I got Shockwave, Triptychon was behind the counter at $299. So just goes to show what can happen if in the space of a week. If you drop the price on a toy that's not particularly popular, it will suddenly pick up its popularity. So. What do you got there?
I've got a couple of off-topic. Okay, I've got two off-topic things with that. In that, I got a Kane. There you go. He's a Kane with face hugger. And then I got this one here.
Surely that is not real merchandise.
Yeah, but that one's got the chest burster.
No, there is no way this is real merchandise.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, look at these guys. Who makes it? Reaction figures.
I don't know. I don't think these guys are officially licensed. I was just say they're Funko.
Yeah, it's got Alien copyright 2014 20th Century Fox on the back.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but I just love how it's got his little penile coming out of his chest.
Really? Is that where we're going? Okay, never mind.
I tried to flip and change Grimlock for him. I was happy.
Wow. Ooh. Oh, okay. No, fair enough. It was flip and change. That's okay.
Yeah.
Look, I think that's going to bring us to the end of the show. I think we've managed to just bring this in about on an hour, so kind of happy with that.
That works well.
What is happening? What's coming up for the week ahead? What are we doing? What are we up to?
This week, Australia Post have lost some of the collector cards that went out. I've resent some of those. The group itself, not a lot this week. I'm going to be in either Melbourne or Sydney again on Sunday night in my truck. So
either Melbourne or Sydney. It's good to have certainty.
Yeah, I know. If you wake up on Monday morning and see a news article about a truck being in the wrong spot, that's me. We'll see what happens with that.
Not stuck in Collins in Little Collins Street in Melbourne, but yeah, or maybe
Montague Street. I know about that one. So, yeah, it's going to be. It'll be a light week, I think. We're steaming towards Gold Coast Supernova and Melbourne Supernova for the first 2 weekends in April. So, just working out what we're going to do, table arrangements and everything for those. So.
Yeah, that's going to get busy. All right.
Yeah. Yep.
I should see if I can take a trip up to the Gold Coast. That might be interesting.
Yeah.
We'll give it a try. Yeah, cool.
Yep.
All right. I think that's it. Just a quick little programming note, guys. You can find the podcast on iTunes. So if you do have iTunes, or if you have an iTunes-able computer, please head over to the podcast on iTunes and give us a review. We like a review. We like it if it's a positive review. If it's a negative review, kind of don't bother. Yeah, head on over. The link is in the show notes and it is on the website as well. And, of course, you may be watching this podcast on YouTube. The podcast does go up as a video on YouTube. It's basically a recording of the Hangout, which is what we're doing right now. So, yeah, the link to the YouTube channel is on the TCCA site and, again, in the show notes. So,
yep.
Thank you for listening. And, yeah, it's going to be good night from me because it is getting fairly late into the Friday night as we do this record. And yeah, we'll see you next week. We'll see you next week. You'll see us next week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Good night.